Alright, YouTube, so I know it's been a number of months since I've come out and criticized religion. As I said, I was going to stop it for the most part. And I know a lot of Christians and Muslims will come on this video and probably have seen my face before and will say, oh, it's this fucker, and they'll thumb down the video, and that's fine. At this point, it comes with the territory. I've been on YouTube for almost 2 years now, making videos regularly. But what I wanted to talk about today is the death of organized religion, the death of religion. It's a slow process, but it's it's clearly visible. Now, you might not be thinking right now, it's like, oh, it's never going to be completely eradicated, and you're right. There's probably 1,000, 2,000 years from now, there will still be Christians somewhere. But those Christians will be nothing like the Christians we see today. Now, what I'm saying is, and I'm going to get into Islam as well, is the way that fundamentalist religion is set up, and strict religion and organized religion is set up, it will actually lead to the demise of its population numbers. Now, I want to give a couple anecdotal tales, and I'll kind of go on, and I think you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about. So, in the area of Indiana I live in, it's the region, it's about an hour drive away from Chicago, Illinois. In the county I'm in, there is a church that is well known and notorious, infamous for being crazy. If you look up Fairhaven Baptist Church, I think they even had a CNN special about it about 4 years ago. And there are several allegations of child abuse, child humiliation, pretty much borderline child torture. I wouldn't even be surprised, and I'm not saying this has happened, but I'm saying I would not be surprised if news aired out that, oh, I was sexually assaulted by one of the faculty members at that church. Now, it's literally about a 12-minute drive from my house. If I drove north from here, I would eventually hit Fairhaven Baptist Church. So, I've been through the neighborhood, I've seen the church, and it's crazy. I have an acquaintance that lives, or, before he moved, he lived right down the road from it. It is a church, it is a school system, and it is its own community. If it took any other additional steps, it would most likely be labeled as a cult. Now, a religion's just a cult everybody wants to join, and a cult's just a religion not many people want to join. But they have interviews with former people who have been to the school system, who have gone to the church. They said, it totally messed me up. I don't know how to feel emotion, one of them said. And if you go over there and if you approach the kids, when we were teens, younger teens, we would go, and I think one of my old friends said hi to them, and the kids looked at them, said, we're not allowed to talk to people who don't go to Fairhaven, and they just ran off. Now, I bring this church up because a best friend of mine actually has a friend who went to that church, still goes to that church, but went to that school system until 8th grade. Now, he said this guy is completely socially awkward, and he is so disconnected from the outside world that he doesn't understand slang, He doesn't understand what certain words mean. It's almost as if it is a Scientology type model, but with baptism infused in it. And I'm sure when that guy has kids, if he has kids, if he finds anybody, if he knows how to feel emotion, their kids are going to either be staunch atheists or deists. I know, and I went to school with members of a Muslim family who are Sunni Muslims. Their parents are straight off the plane from Pakistan. But I only talked to the two older kids, the oldest daughter and their only son, who is a year younger. And the daughter, I would not be surprised if she loses her faith in Islam. And the son, he's already lost his faith. Last year when I was a senior, I was talking to him, and we got on the topic of religion somehow, and he said, well, I'm a deist. And then later that year, about 4 months later, we had another conversation, and somehow religion got struck up again. He's like, yeah, I'm an atheist. I can't believe in it. And he's like, I love my parents, but sometimes they can be kind of crazy. But it seems that another thing is, not only is this area very Baptist, it's also very Catholic. There is a family that has 13 kids. The father just recently passed away, but they had 13 kids. I went to school with the two youngest kids. I only knew the youngest. I didn't really talk to the second youngest. And he's lost his faith. And what I'm noticing is a pattern here. What I'm noticing is, if you want your kid to retain the religion as they grow older, the best thing to do is to not be overly religious, overbearing about your religion, because the kids will get sick of it. It's the concept of evolution. Now look at the Catholic Church. For quite some time, the Catholic Church, the Vatican, the head of the Catholic Church, really has lost its influence in the modernized Western nations. And they've had to gain revenue from, Mexico, Central America, South American, and African countries. You notice that the Pope is now trying to infuse liberal rhetoric and I have to assume that this is some way to try to get liberal atheists to go into Catholicism so they can continue to fund the church. But basically, in the modernized Western world, Christianity's blight is the family and the structure. And Islam's a little different, but Christianity, if you have strict fundamentalist parents, and it's the concept of evolution kind of, your mind will get rid of certain ideas in exchange for better ones if they clash with you. So let's say strict fundamentalist parents say masturbation is evil, don't take drugs, don't drink. There's a huge chance, and if they're overbearing in every aspect of their life, and they'll look back on their life with depression and say, oh, how shitty was my life, my childhood was so shitty, they'll either become staunch atheists, or they will become some type of independent, super liberal Christian, which is also a good thing, because I would be willing to bet that if they had kids, their kids will become atheists. And, I'm sounding pretty brash. Not all religious people, I understand, that's what I'm saying. Those are the good Christians. But I'm saying this world will probably be a better off place if people start to, at least in the Western world, are more atheist or deist or agnostic or take up left-hand paths. Now you're seeing a huge resurgence of pagan groups. I had a debate with that, and I think I'll make an additional video about that sometime. But I think organized religious groups in Christianity have seen what this has done and have modified their message to fit with the times. You are starting to see now that this Iron Age dogma is not compatible with the modern era. If they have to consistently switch now, what they believe in, because they're trying to grab onto membership, they're trying to still have a heavy presence in the political sector, in the social control sector. So if they become a little more lenient, in theory, more people will adhere to them. Now, Islam is a little different. And I think in the Western world, like the example I gave about that Sunni Muslim family I'm aware of, and I have grown up knowing for years now. I think, that still holds true with the family unit type thing, but I think there is a heavier social pressure on Muslims to become atheists, because, and I'm not saying like they should become, I'm just saying they have more guilt on their mind probably, because, I'm not denying that a lot of Muslims are moderate or liberal or, not fundamentalists, not wanting to declare holy war on people. But what I notice is that there is pressure on these people to not be Muslim, because you have to think there's probably been points in a Muslim's life where they have looked back on things and have said, I'm tired of these people being represented as my religion. I don't even know if I'm able to fit in with this religion, because it seems to be more hateful than anything, and it just isn't something I think I'm compatible with. And you see them questioning their faith, and they're probably abandoning their faith. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But, as I stated before, you are seeing the slow death of Christianity and organized religion as a whole. Now, what you're seeing is a slow transition, and I believe this year kind of kicks it off. You're seeing a slow transition into a new renaissance focused and centered around thinking, where logic and reason are put first and foremost. And this will start a long trend of people who forsake the idea of religion. Now, thankfully, I was never raised by weird fundamentalist parents. My parents were atheists, basically. So it was easy for me to be an atheist. Now, I can't imagine the guilt associated with a fundamentalist trying to become an atheist and, told their whole life they're going to burn in some place if they don't believe in something or if they do something wrong. I mean, even if this was true or not, I technically can't be saved by Jesus anyway, or God, because I forsook the name of God, and I said I don't believe in Him. I did the one unforgivable sin. So that's about it, YouTube. I might make another video today. My video making might stop, or not stop, but slow down a lot Monday through Wednesday, because Antonio, the guy from the Mueller Man podcast, he's coming into town, and, of course, I'm going to have to spend some time with him. But either way, peace out, have a good morning and have a great day. Thank you.